What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Quick 60. I'm still going over an update on the AFC East division. I went over third place with you last time, the Miami Dolphins, and today I'm going to go over the second place team and my predictions for the AFC East, which is the New England Patriots. So, last year was a weird year for the New England Patriots. The first year without Tom Brady. Bill Belichick was still there, still trying to figure some things out. And they brought in Cam Newton, and realistically, they started off pretty good, but he ended up getting COVID, and then he ended up banging his finger, I think, on a Denver Broncos player helmet in the Bronco game. And so, he was just never the same after that. And so it is what it is. But, Stidham came in and played, and he tried to do what he could do, but he's not an NFL quarterback. So, once Cam had some issues, then the Patriots season kind of went down the drain, especially with how dominant the Bills were. So with Cam back at full strength, I know he's not going to be at his MVP caliber self like he was with the Panthers, but he's still serviceable, especially in the red zone with some rushing touchdowns and that ball control. And realistically, with the additions that the New England Patriots got, I think they spent upwards of somewhere around $268 million in free agency, the most that Bill Belichick has ever spent. The Patriots are only going to get better from a year ago. So like I said, they were 7-9 last year, but with the key additions, they got Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne, they paid big money on as well. Hunter Henry, which actually I don't think is going to be a big as contributor as some people think. I think Jonnu Smith, another key addition for the tight end, will be more fantasy relevant, more relevant. I think more Greg Olsen-y type lock on for Cam Newton. I think it's going to be Jonnu Smith, not Hunter Henry. They also signed Trent Brown. That's a massive deal, massive upgrade for the Patriots offensive line. Alex Redmond, Ted Karras, Matthew Judon is a huge signing from the Ravens. They also got Kyle Van Noy back, and McMillan and Jalen Mills. So that's just the free agency signings that they got. I think there was a couple more, but no one worth mentioning it like these stars that they got. So, that's going to fill some holes that they had last year. They're definitely going to improve from 7-9. So let me give you some key losses that they had as well from last year. Obviously, Julian Edelman is the biggest one. Rex Burkhead, they lost Bird. Joe Thuney was huge, the guard. They lost a center as well, James Ferentz, John Simon, Bo Allen, Adam Butler, and Jason McCourty, the corner. So, definitely are improving. They gained more stars, more players than they lost this offseason. And honestly, I'm just going to be 100% real and transparent with you that if Cam Newton starts and he's playing well and, he gets in his head a lot, so having Mac Jones right behind him, I don't know how much of a mentorship Cam Newton will be. But if there's pressure, especially from the Patriots fan, to start Mac Jones, my predictions will be totally different than if Cam Newton was starting and played majority of the season instead of Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones definitely needs to sit at least 1 year, but we'll see. Let's start with who they got in the draft. The Patriots drafted real well as well. They got Mac Jones. They got Christian Barmore, the defensive tackle. I think he's going to be really good. They got Ronnie Perkins, and they also got the running back Stevenson, who I think is a sleeper from Oklahoma. He's really good. I think he was really undervalued in the draft, so I think you can expect big things from him. So my predictions for the Patriots this year are they're going to be going 9-8 this season and pushing for the playoff spot in the second place in the AFC East. With Cam Newton, he's a red zone threat. I think he's a good veteran quarterback. I'm not going to say he's great, but he's very serviceable. The issue is they still don't really have, to me, great receiving core for Cam Newton. Obviously, Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry at tight end are huge. But Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar, I think they're overrated. N'Keal Harry, obviously, he's probably going to get traded. He didn't pan out to be everything that they could have been. Matthew Slater, he's just a great special teamer. I think my sleeper, the best receiver to me of the group of the receiver of the Patriots is Jacoby Myers. I think he's really good. I think he came on a little bit last season. I think he's a sleeper, especially in fantasy, so watch out for him. As far as the offensive line goes, they're one of the top 5 best units in the league. They got Isaiah Wynn, They got David Andrews, who's really good. Shaq Mason, coming from the Rams, the guard, he's really great. Trent Brown, he's good. So they're going to have a really good offensive line for Cam Newton sit back there, as well as if he wants to run. So that's going to be good. They also have a slew of running backs. They always do. They had Damian Harris, so he's going to be starting. And they have Stevenson, which I mentioned, from Oklahoma. They have Brandon Bolden. They have Sony Michel still, who's kind of actually back on the depth chart, surprisingly. And they also have James White. So for fantasy purposes, obviously, I'm just letting you know that I'm not really big on, like I said, a lot of the Patriots receivers. Also Hunter Henry. I like Jonnu Smith a lot with Cam Newton. I don't, however, like Harris, the running back. He had 691 yards rushing in 10 games last season for the Patriots, but James White's going to take away some of those receptions, as well as, like I said, Stevenson. I like him a lot. I think he's going to steal some carries as well. And then anytime the Patriots get down in the red zone, especially if Cam Newton's starting and not Mac Jones, Cam Newton's going to take away some of those rushing touchdowns from Harris. So in the defense for the Patriots, with Bill Belichick coaching the defense, he's a super stud coaching staff. So I think they're going to get better as well this season. I have, Judon. They have Judon this year. They have Kyle Van Noy. Don't forget they have Hightower as well. I think he opted out last season. So that's going to be a huge improvement on the linebacking core. Jalen Mills, he's really underrated, really good. And then obviously, you got Stephon Gilmore. He's unhappy right now. He wants a new contract. So we'll see what happens with him. But he's still going to ball out this season for the Patriots. The D-line, I think, is the weak point for the Patriots. They drafted Christian Barmore, though, so that should help shore up some stuff for the Patriots defense. But like I said, I have them going 9-8 with Cam Newton starting. With Mac Jones starting, they're going to probably lose a couple more games, but they're only going to improve with Cam Newton being there next year with that coaching staff. He's been busting his tail in the offseason. Like I said, he had COVID. His finger was hurt. He hit a helmet last season. So all the offseason additions they're going to be in the push for the playoffs come January. So guys, if you like my page, please subscribe down below. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, anything you want, just let me know, and I'll start making some fantasy videos for you as well. If y'all are into fantasy or PPR fantasy, dynasty, anything like that. So next video I have is the #1 team in the AFC East that's coming up in the next few days. Till next time, guys. Peace.